Hello. I'm trying out different times. And so welcome everybody. And seeing how things work, you know? Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Whenever you see this. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello. The gang's coming in. Woohoo. Trying different times to see when people are out and about and around and surfing through uh the waves of the algorithms of YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So that's where I am today. What have I been doing all day? I've been posting a lot today, getting things set up to post. um it's a lot of work. Oh my god. And then um I was about TikTok marketing and stuff like that. I'm really not a TikTok, but I'm getting more views on TikTok than I am on my YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. So I'm getting views, which is huge. And that's the thing is, so people can see me. And I see a lot of little TikTokers that are out there that are little psychics and mediums and astrologers and stuff like that, and they're doing quite well on TikTok. You don't make money in Canada on TikTok. That's You might in the United States or other places, but you don't in Canada, to my knowledge. Is at least that's what the Canadian content creators have said so far. But it's getting them to drive them to your website or getting people to look at the other things that you do so you can grow your clientele. So that's a huge one. So I've been doing and creating different little 5 second, 30-second clips and putting them out there to drive traffic so people can see me, so they could take a look at how beautiful I am, and and to get the business going, because that's the thing. It's you have to create your abundance. You have to be the one to get out there and push your ass to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And anything that happens in the world today has to do with money. What is happening? Hello, Charlene. What is happening over in Taiwan to what's over happening in Korean, over in Ukraine. I don't even know this. But I mean, all of this has an influx on how far our money goes, right? So how we are creating that abundance as things are breaking down, and we are seeing the breakdown in so many places. I was listening to Mark Moss, and if you guys want to listen to somebody he's got some really good tips and stuff on investments, on how to work with investments. I love listening to these guys. I don't have the particular money to do what they want to do, but I'm getting the knowledge, so when I do have the money, I can do what they do, and understanding how the market works. Well, he was talking about all the influx and why um all of these immigrants are just crossing the border. Like in one Texas town, the town stated a state of emergency so they can get some help, because there's over 2,000 immigrants that crossed the border in one day. Just 2,000, bang. And and it was amazing because you watched them and they were putting them on buses to go to other places, whether it was to LA or New York or Chicago, um, and sending them to these places. So he was explaining the reasons being of why this is happening, and all the people that ended up in Italy. It is to cripple the economy, to break it down. And they're all young men. It's not families that you're seeing, the majority that are coming through. So they're young, able men that are coming in to work and taking up per se jobs that other people aren't going to take. They're also fighting age men. So, where they want to put them if they're fighting age men between the ages of 18 and 27. Um, and it's to really bring it down to breaking down the system. And as I was listening to a lot of things that he was saying, it was just kind of it was he's Mark really doesn't really want to be a downer, but he was explaining how it works and how it's so important for us all to really look at how we are what we are doing to create our abundance, or do our side hustles and things like that, and how we're preparing our own selves in crazy times when when things economically are going to be just getting um crazier and more difficult to for things, for our dollar, as my mother would say, for our dollar to stretch. How many how far can your dollar stretch, and so things are going to get tougher in many different ways. So it's important for us to be looking at new ways to creating what we do. So one of the things I was doing today, not only making little little clips and stuff like that, looking into digital art, man, that is just a fascinating area. And the things that you can create on digital with doing digital art, it is absolutely phenomenal, just phenomenal, just seeing all what they do, but it is time consuming, and having to utilize all the different softwares, so the different softwares to do things, right? Um, I just dropped $200 on something I don't need but wanted. Venus must be around me. She always has me spending money. Yeah, she does. And then you find out afterwards that you really didn't need what you were spending your money on, especially after she leaves Leo, right? Because she is going forward. My evening glass of wine. Oh, so um, yeah, these are the important things that are coming in. Going back to the digital art, learning little things on it. But as I was just saying to Steve, you're doing it, and then you have to. Yeah, well, you're a Leo, so there you go. Um, you have to have a subscription for this and this and this and this, and it adds up, right? All these little subscriptions. So you have to really be aware of what it is that you truly want, and where you want to spend your money. And I'm a cheap crafter. I'm a crafter, like, "Oh, how can I make that?" And find out the cheap way to make that kind of thing. Well, let's go to the dollar store. What do I have at home? But this is where it's all online. It's all digital. So it's not what you have at home. It's where you could find the items, and you have to be extremely careful because you don't want to plagiarize or take other people's stuff, right? Because that can cause a whole shit show for you. I got a design or something off Pixel when I was doing my website years ago, and somebody got a hold of me and said, "Where did you find my art?" And I said, "On Pixel." So not everything on Pixel is free. You have to go and find. There's a way of checking to see if it is available, and it's not on any other website or owned by anybody else. And she was quite shocked, and she went there and she found it. She found her art on so many different things that people were utilizing. um so it's that kind of thing. So I mean, that's why I think, it's called Mind Valley, and it's for creating digital art. A lot of people are using it, can create some beautiful art and some imagery too with it. And it's very important that when you do it, I think that you got to tweak it and make it your own. It's like when you're learning how, when you go to an art class and you're learning how to paint from the artist, from the teacher, and then you end up doing it a little bit different than she does or he does, because you're creating it for yourself. You're doing your own creativity. And I think that's what's so really cool about doing digital art. My hair's falling down, so I have to fix it. in doing digital art. So it's been up all day. There you go. In doing digital art, you have to really watch how you are doing what you're doing, right? And creating. So it's about getting into that creative side. And I love to be the creative person, try to be anyways. You could create so much from uh what is it? Tumblers, the art on the side of tumblers, to people can print out art now. Um and create different forms of wallpaper and stuff like that. It's just absolutely phenomenal the things that you can do and create right now. So I feel like if there's something there that you want to create, I know little wine while I was gonna call you wine moon energy. But I mean, she could create she's beautiful things that she creates. Same with Charlene. Charlene creates some really beautiful things too with resin and fairies and things like that. That creativeness is, I think it's important, whether it's in cooking, whether it's um, the way you clean, the way you organize is a creativeness too. So looking at the things that you love to do in your life, and I guess fine tuning it, because it's going to be coming to a point where people are going to be looking for new ways to create income and create money. I have been looking for a job, but nobody's calling me back. And maybe my energy is just saying, oh, I guess I'll apply for that one. Um, but as you get to a certain point, you get a little bit, you just don't want to work for shit kind of thing. So I feel what I'm feeling, because there's just so much coming out right now, and intensity. So much craziness is coming out on the 23rd about comets. And I was doing a deep dive into comets and the energies of the comets that are coming in and around Virgo, because Virgo is the birthing place. Minimum wage. Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is that you come in and that's what they want to pay you, is minimum wage. Right. And it's yeah, no. Why? It's really, it's really hard to leave your place, and then they only want to give you 2 days a week or something like that. It's too difficult. And then plus the gas and everything else, you have to go there, and whatever else, it's just crazy. But I feel with the everything coming in and the 23rd, and everybody's, I've heard everything for the 23rd of shut your windows, make sure you close the curtains, don't go outside because the wrath of God is coming in. I've heard where things are going to be falling apart, and the end of days. It's the end of days, right? Yeah, I'm worth more than minimum wage, definitely. And so you have this energy that a lot of people like fearful. Like that pillow being moved, that's my dog burrowing. Like it's 7 o'clock. Between 7 and 8, she thinks it's bedtime. Want to go under? Uh, there you go. You happy? There you go. I'm right here. Yeah, so she has to be under the blankets now. Um I lose my train of thought here. But I feel like with the energies that are coming in, and what everybody's saying about this weekend, I'm just like, I don't feel it. I don't really see it. I know there is a comet that's coming out, and another one that came out a couple weeks ago, um, that's coming forth. So there's a few comets that are coming out, and comets mean change. Comets are ones that let people know that there's dramatic changes, that are coming through. I mean, that's what our ancients used to believe. So when they saw a comet and they saw this ominous going across the sky, because they could see it, right? Right now, I mean, because of all the light pollution, you can't really see a lot of things that are coming up in the sky, or how many stars are actually out there. And so there's this when they appeared, keep your train of thought, Mary. You only had one sip of wine. You can't even think anymore. When you when they see these things in the stars, it was like an omen, or it was the gods coming to tell them that something is going to happen. There's a change in the world. There's a change happening in and around that is going to create massive destruction in some way, or some kind of massive disruption in the world. And we saw that. I mean, they came out during 2019. Another one came out in 2022, I believe. And I think, yeah, I think one came out. I think we've had one every year so far that's been notable. So we've had these comments coming out, and believe it or not, I mean, they all have something to say about change. Change is coming, change is inevitable. We're in a time of great change, disruption. We are in a time where we are witnessing a lot of our political parties don't really care. Like, um, they say they do, but they don't really care. Like, I mean, I started to think about what our lovely PM has done with India. And I'm just like, I mean, did he do this on purpose? Was this a setup? Like, this is the way my brain goes, okay? Was this a whole freaking setup that he did? Or of masquerading, and the the gentleman who lost his life. I'm being very politically correct here. Who lost his life in Vancouver, the Sikh, had ties to an extremist group that did not like. He was from Pakistan and did not like the um, president of India. He was not and he spoke boldly about it, and he spoke vigilantly um, about him. And even to one video, I heard, that he was threatening, did some, threatening. And the president or prime minister, I never know if they're prime ministers or presidents. I have no idea. Anyways, gave RPM a tongue lashing, right? When he went over there. And so then all of a sudden, when he comes back, he's assassinated, he's dead. And I'm just like, that's just weird. It just doesn't make sense to me. Somebody could explain it to me, that would be awesome. But it just didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, wow, he really doesn't give a damn about Canada. Like, his ploy is not for Canada. And we see it in so many ways, even though he's um says one thing and does another. And Mark Moss was explaining that because there was this study or that came out, or a lot of the presidents and leaders went to Columbia University. And I should have wrote it all down, what he was talking about. Anyways, I think I posted on my Facebook um, to listen to him. Maybe I can bring it up here. Hang on. Hold on. Mateus was watching his shows. He has no school tomorrow. How many weeks in and they have no school already? Isn't that crazy? Like, man, they have a freaking good union, don't you think? I love it. I came up on my live. There we go. I have to take off my glasses for this. Okay. Hidden agenda behind the mass migration. So he talks about this. His name is Mark Moss. It's a 19-20 minute
hidden agenda behind mass migration. Now, the hashtag invasion is trending.
Like, as he says, the hashtag invasion is trending.
Is urgent. Now, Italy is being overwhelmed by immigrants, with tens of thousands showing up and overwhelming the small island of Lampedusa, and it's
So we have Italy
all over Europe, and at the same time, the United States is being flooded with millions of people.
So we have United States, but he talks about
anger, with fingers pointing blame at not just the people smugglers, but also the Italian premier, Giorgina Meloni. Now, the European Union officials and their Tunisian partner, President Kais Saied,
And it's interesting because a lot of these that are coming in, where are they getting the money? Because a lot of them are flying over to a place so that they can come into a country. They don't fly into a country. Some of them are taking flights and flying over so that they can cross the border, which is so there's some kind of funding there, which is interesting. Like even all of them that are coming in on these boats, it takes money. It takes a lot for them to strategize and get it all together. Anyways, he talks about a book
Salvini called the arrivals, quote,
that a lot of these
again,
leaders read. Anyways, a lot of readers read. And it's just interesting to see the strategy of how things are. And so it really got me to think of even in the States when you are watching a lot of the like New York, California, Oregon, and even whatever state is Democrat, whatever color that is. So blue states. So you watch all these blue states and you watch all what's happening and the destructions that are going on there. And you're seeing they don't care. They don't care. There's a reason why they don't care. It is this dismantlement. It is this dismantlement that they want to happen. And that's why it's so important for all of us to look at how we are protecting ourselves and how we are really strategizing in 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 many ways. And I mean, here in Calgary, we have a large Ukrainian immigration that has come in. You just have to go anywhere in town and you just sit down, and the main language that you hear is Ukrainian. You don't hear, even in the Northeast, which is usually when I sit down, it's usually Arabic that I hear, or it's Punjabi that I hear. In the Northeast, it's becoming more Ukrainian, that you're hearing. So you're seeing this influx of immigrants coming in. We haven't seen it to the extent here in Canada. Maybe they're placing them out differently. I know they're coming in as you are in places like New York, or other like Chicago and stuff like that. But you are starting to see it, and that had to do with when, with Jupiter, even Jupiter being in Sagittarius. Now Jupiter is now in Taurus. Remember, he takes a year in every sign. So a few years ago when he was in Sagittarius, we knew there was going to be a great migration. We knew there was going to be a great influx, a change. When Saturn left in 2017 into Capricorn, there was that we knew that there was a structure, because Sagittarius has to do with immigration. It has to do with travel, change. So we saw within the astrology that there's going to be an extreme traveling and changes. Now we are witnessing it. We are really seeing that influx of people moving. And this is back in 2017 and 2018. And I was mentioning how we're going to see the greatest migrations that we've ever seen in the world, and a greater influx of people leaving their countries and moving to different countries than we've ever seen. And this is going to be where the structure of the countries are unable to sustain what is coming in. So in not being able to sustain it, then if it collapses, that's a great excuse to have world order or have some other agenda come in and bring that in some manner. So we're starting to witness, the great migration, because even when you go through history and you see when people move, like great masses of people move for whatever reason from one region to another region. And the thing is that they're not coming in from war torn areas, because usually when you see that flooding coming in, it's families. You see the families coming in, just like you see a lot of the families that are coming in from Ukraine. They're families that have come in, majority of them. But when you start seeing a lot of males coming in without family that are in, 18 to 27 years of age, they're coming in for economic reasons. They're not coming in but they're told not to say that because then they're not going to get what they're looking for or the asylum that they're looking for. But this is what these are the changes that we are seeing within the world. Someone said to me, or some of the stats that they're talking about, that there's going to be um the white person's going to be the minority, and I'm just like, okay, that's whatever. So I'm like, if they want to come here and live in -30 weather, can we go and take over their country and go live there and live in nice, beautiful weather? Um, so it's interesting how everything is in flux and everything is changing. And we are going to be witnessing that a lot more in 2024. Hence, the reason why I have 7 readings. So I have 7 mini moon readings left for the year. So that's the full moons and the new moon readings. They're $35, so it's $245 or something, 245, plus I'm throwing in a mini peek into 2024, because this last quarter of this year is really going to stretch people in a way that they haven't been stretched before. This last quarter and going into the first quarter of 2024, we are going to see um, a lot of people start to really wake up and realize, oh my God, I can't afford my house, or I can't afford this car, or there's going to be a lot of people. Mexico, here I come. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people cannot afford um, certain things. And I was mentioning to a few people who own farms, I said, start being on the lookout for people, a lot of farmers who are unable to sustain their farms, that they're going to be selling a lot of the big equipment. So we're going to be seeing a lot of big equipment starting to be sold, especially in the winter, because they're needing they have to sustain their farm for whatever reason. They have to get rid of some of the farm equipment. I got an itchy on my back. Sorry. So we're going to be starting to see a lot of people sell a lot of valuable things. So you're going to be seeing people selling, very high end cars at very low prices. You're going to start seeing pieces of art being sold, things that people, had as value, but they are needing to liquidate. And in doing that, that's actually a great chance for other people to pick up on this, because that's how the rich get richer, because the real rich ones start seeing that and they're like, okay, all right, I'll buy that on pennies on the dollar. I mean, we just saw Bill Gates pick up Budweiser stock for dirt freaking cheap. I mean, yeah, does he have another agenda with it? Probably, but he bought it up. Smart man. You might not like him, but there is some business savvy within him. Ugh. Ugh. But this is where, in my readings and trying to guide people, that when it comes to the financials, it's going to be freaking tough. If with it, if you own a business, you're going to be stretched, and you got to really figure out new ways of marketing, figure out new ways of implementing your business into the market in a new way, or you're going to have to look at ways of either downsizing or recreating or rewriting something within that business, right? That's going to be the main thing for it. You're going to see a lot of psychics and stuff start coming out of the woodwork, because a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, I can read. I'm going to make money reading." And some of them definitely will, because people are going to be looking for guidance, right? People are going to be wanting to look for something to help them along. So, if you're going to look for guidance and stuff, make sure that you find somebody who aligns with you. Definitely. Just don't go willy-nilly to anybody. So finding, that guidance is going to be an important piece. The other part too is that, as we are going into this last quarter, and as Venus moves on out of Leo and she goes into Virgo, we're going to start seeing how things, when it comes to things in this world. How are we working in this world? How are we creating in this world, right? So Virgo rules the fifth house. So Virgo rules or the sixth house. La, 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 la. It's the sixth house. The sixth house is the house of health. So we have her moving out of the house of pleasure, because that is Leo. So that is the pleasure house into the house of health. And Libra is the balancer, right? So Libra is the house of balance. So we're going to be witnessing as she moves into the health house, that things to do with health. How are we working with health? What does that look like for health? Or how much does health cost? Because she's also the ruler of Taurus. So what does that money look like? And she's going to be coming into oppositions to Saturn and to Neptune. So this is going to be bringing in a lot of things to you're going to begin to hear a lot more on drug related workings with maybe hallucinogenics and things like that. You're going to be hearing a lot more about uh, the new elixir that's coming forth, things to uh, that have to do with virus. And so a lot of that's you're going to be hearing while Venus is going into that. So there's going to be a little bit of people freaking out about all of that. um and that's where, again, so this is your even things to come up to do with here in Canada when they are talking about vitamins and minerals and herbs and stuff that they want to take off the market. And it's going to be harder for you to even buy your herbs. So they're going to be putting on more restrictions on herbs. So that's going to be coming out as we are going into October and November with that. With that energy. So if you need to stock up on your herbs and stuff like that right now. Even starting your seed garden, getting your seeds together and stuff for next year, or even starting if you have a greenhouse, if you're able to start an indoor garden and stuff with herbs is a really great thing to be starting to look at and plan. These are, economically, this is going to save you a lot of money because you're looking at things that are going to enhance my health so I can be a good, productive person within my own life and to create the abundance that I want to create in my world. So we're going to be witnessing that as we are going into the next half of the year. And then, of course, we have lovely Mr. Mercury scooting along. He's going along, so he's going to be moving like a bat out of hell, right? For the next 3 months. So he's going to be moving along, giving information, everything that he uncovered as he was in Virgo. So he's going to be bringing in, a lot more when it comes to things to do with your health. So that's some of the things to look at, and the things that for the body part that Virgo rules is the digestive system, the intestine, and the spleen. So things to do with your intestine, your spleen, and things like that are going to be um, coming up. So things to do with food, toxic food, things that aren't good for you. So they're going to be bringing up, a lot of things to do with food plants, food manufacturing, things like that. So you're going to start hearing a lot more about that in October and November. So they're really going to be pushing like, oh, this isn't good. Or you're going to start seeing a lot more um, plants go under where they're unable to produce the food. Or there's going to be restraints or restrictions when it comes to food. I'm going to take, the thing that's happening with India And, the ban that India's going to say, okay, I mean, they are a producer of rice, a big producer of rice. So whatever we get from India, I don't know how much we get from India, but we have used their stock market to put our CPP in there. And the teachers union of Ottawa, of Ontario have bought stocks and invested in the Indian stock market. So today it came out that our premier is wanting to stop the CPP in Alberta, withdraw from it. It takes 3 years to do that, and then implement their own, Alberta tax or whatever it is. But that's going to be an interesting how that plays out. But that's sort of in alignment with what India is freezing the assets of our CPP and the Quebec CPP and the Teachers Union of Ontario. So that's quite interesting. So you're going to hear a lot more of things being, when it comes to money and the changes of money that are going to be coming in, especially as Jupiter gets closer to Uranus in um, Taurus. So we're going to be starting to see a lot more when it comes to. Oh, my battery's going to die on my phone. My battery's going to die on my phone. We're going to see a lot more of that in the last quarter. Hence, I'm starting to let people know like 7 new moon and full moon. So that means you get a reading twice a month from me. So you get a reading and it's recorded and I send it to your inbox. So you get a reading twice a month from me to the end of the year, plus your sort of sneak peek into 2024 and taking a look at what 2024 has installed for you. Because it's going to be the Kraken. 2024 is going to be the Kraken. It's going to be the year that's going to bring shit that people aren't expecting. It's going to be the unexpected thing that's going to make things disappear or not be there anymore. So 2024 is going to be a very crazy year economically. And it's going to be where when it comes to food and finding different foods on our shelf, and it doesn't help that our government wants to take control over the food chains. Interesting, isn't that? Hence, with that whole thing with food and digestion and everything else, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that with lovely Venus in Virgo, and then she'll be so happy to get, out of there and she'll be trying to put things back to balance. But then you got the South Node there. So that could cause a whole disruption in trying to bring things into balance. Because with the South Node in Libra, it's bringing things out of balance. It's really bringing in an out of balance energy, and people are going into the fear or going into, with the South Node there, I think it goes into where the new trial by media comes in. And in Britain, they have a new legislation that's coming in. I think it's been passed on through their house, but it has to go up to the signing of the king. The king signs off on these things. So that's very interesting. So the king has to sign off on this new legislation when it comes to social media restrictions and things along that line. So censorship. So he's going to be signing off on that over the next few weeks. So that's going to be an interesting scenario that's going to be happening in Britain, and how much more that they're going to be restricting people on what they can say, cannot say, and the whole 9 yards. So lots of craziness that's coming forward to us over the next little while, and I really want people to be prepared and not scared. And that's the thing. It's like in being prepared is also, not only food, but also looking at other things that you want to do, or if you're finding that your business is struggling right now, that okay, what is going on, how can I restructure this, what is it, because it's also the greatest time to make money if you're wanting to make money, if you are in a place of wanting to make money, it is a great time to make money. So you're going to find, as I say, a lot of assets, a lot of people are going to be selling off shit. And so if you're able to pick, you're going to be seeing it, especially not only through this next quarter, but through the first quarter and going into the second quarter of next year. Whew, people are, it's going to be, that's where you're going to start seeing a lot of things with the housing and stuff like that happen within within the states. And I think it's going to hit here. The housing market can't continue on the way it's been going. Like, it's utterly crazy here in Calgary. It has been since I moved here. And that was, just coming into 2007 and 2008. The housing market has always been really fucking crazy in Calgary. And even when they are having the crash, some people were losing their houses, but it didn't stop the building. It didn't stop people buying. Or I remember people having bidding wars and stuff because people need a place to live, right? So it's the breaking is going to happen. There's going to be a breaking, and that's why I keep on seeing it's the Kraken that's coming through. And if you it's not really a great image, the Kraken, but that's, how I see 2024 coming about, for us, and the changes that are coming about, and what are those changes going to look like in your own world and in your life. And the craziness of it all. So I want you all to have a great night. If you are interested in the 7 mini readings, let me know. And will you stop kicking me? Yeah, I don't know how you can breathe underneath there. Anyways, I don't know how she can breathe underneath there. But anyways, let me know if you're interested in them. And I'm going to send you guys out so much love. You guys, so much love. And may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you be and you do. I will be back on tomorrow morning, and we will talk to you all then. So have a blessed one, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, all. See ya.